welcome to episode number 76 of the Over the Bars podcast. This is Jeff Crutcher here with
Scott Gepkin.
I'm Scott Gepkin.
I'm Ron Berger. Who put the question mark at the end of the teleprompter?
Everybody knows he'll read whatever is on the prompter for the last damn time. All right, episode number 76. What do you say we get to it?
Let's get going.
Dude, that music hypes me up so much.
It gets me so amped for this. Like, it's ridiculous, actually.
Okay, so to anybody that doesn't know, which is probably everyone, that's the old intro music for Speed World on ESPN2, which used to host all of the Supercross and motocross races whenever it was David Bailey and Art Ekman.
Dave Despain.
So hold on, wait a second.
Wait, no, he wasn't ESPN, was he?
Yes, but
he was Speed Vision.
Speed Vision, yes. And Dave's show was called Moto World.
Yes.
And they would have Supercross and motocross highlights.
Do you remember Moto World Suzuki, the team?
How could I forget?
But that was a dealer, wasn't it?
Moto World is a dealer, yes.
Yeah, anyways, random.
That would have been like 2002?
2-3. Andrew Short rode for him in like 03, I think. 03,
Okay.
04.
Dude, okay, so at that time there was Factory Suzuki, there was Moto World Suzuki, and ECC Suzuki.
Yeah.
Crazy to think there were three different Suzuki, totally independent of each other.
Totally independent of each other.
Three different Suzuki teams.
The ECC bikes were so cool.
Did you like the green seat or the red seat better?
Green for sure. With the green beehive, and I think they ran green grips too, or green something on the handlebars, or maybe they ran hand guards or something.
I don't know.
I don't know.
So, what would you like to talk about, Scotty?
I don't know. We did zero prep for this podcast whatsoever, and we're running late.
Yeah, we're running late. I got a little confused. I was reading one text message about another location. I show up to that location, and yeah. So, here we are.
Anyway, so we've done one show back, and we've already made upgrades to the system here. We got new headphones.
We got new headphones. We got a headphone splitter. We're sticking with the old Focusrite. I got the 4-way, the big one that we used to use.
Yeah.
That I upgraded from this red unit here.
But we don't have a need for that, right? It's just us two.
That's right. So, did you go back and listen to the last podcast just for creative?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah. Something that I noticed is how much I talk like this.
Just like down, or would like just like meh,
yeah, not so much down, but just like because it's you and me, we're in this tiny room. It's kind of like, bro, this is radio. Like, don't forget that this is going out, not just being a private conversation.
Right, and you can't really tell how loud we're talking in this room.
Right,
and we're at the library. You're supposed to be quiet at the library.
I'm waiting for some to knock on the door.
Quiet down in there. Like when they kicked us out last time.
Inside voices.
They kicked us out. They were like, "Hey, your time's up. Somebody has the room after you." Oh, it was just like really polite librarian. But hey,
that's all right. We have an hour and 10 minutes to get this thing done. I feel like an hour is the move anyway.
I think we're just fine. So one thing we talked about after the last show when we were waiting on it to load is something we didn't talk about, which is like breaking news to Kansas City Moto, which it's already I think been talked about on Behind the Gate and some other stuff like that, but we haven't talked about it.
Okay.
RJ, Ryan, no night races.
No night races. What do you make of that?
I don't know what I make of it. I'm not really sure. I don't think that's happened in the 25 years of me doing this.
Yeah.
I don't think it's happened at all, ever.
I'm not sure what to make of it. I don't know.
Because I'm not a night race guy. You're not a night race guy. We're kind of past those. I guess you're an arena nighttime guy. Under the lights, big
and
show
I even struggle
there
under the lights in arenas too.
Well, it's past your bedtime. By the time the main event comes around, it's past your bedtime.
Okay, you got me there.
Like, do they run those? Can they run a main at 4:30 in the morning? That'd be a lot better chance.
I'm in.
Yeah,
dude. If the deal was, if we were doing daytime races, which we've done one daytime race in all of GT, we did a Sunday matinee, which sucked.
Really?
That was Lebanon last year.
Why would it suck so bad?
Well, because there was we couldn't race on Friday, Saturday. They had a quilting convention.
It probably had a bigger turnout.
Oh, I guarantee you. They had a quilting convention that ran through, and we couldn't get the dirt in, or Tracy couldn't get the dirt in time. So what we had to do was race Saturday night, and then on Sunday also. But check this out: it was a matinee program, so we had to show up early, and our practice and our qualifying was run in with the amateur program.
Right.
Okay. With amateur practice, but then not during the amateur heats. So we sat around and twiddled our thumbs for hours without any track time.
After being up all night as well.
Yeah.
Like up all night racing and then roll right into that. Yeah.
That was the one and only Sunday race that Jay's ever done. And it was terrible.
At least for pros, it was terrible. For 85, it's probably fine.
It was the same exact program as always.
I guess, yeah, they run all day anyways. They start at like 7 in the morning or something anyways, don't they?
Not quite. No, their practice starts at noon. I think the world's richest riders meeting is at 11:30.
Okay. So, yeah, that's a little bit later. I know when I was doing arena cross and you had the 2 nights, you had a Friday night and Saturday night. I always had, or Saturday night, Sunday night, whatever it was. I always had the hardest time, like, what do I do with my hands from the next morning? You know what I mean? Like Saturday morning, because nothing starts till like 3 o'clock. Like, what do I do with myself, you know?
We've got it down pat at this point where we wake up
whenever you get around to it,
as one does, and go down to the hotel lobby if we're staying in a hotel and start just kind of congregating. And the thing is, like, we almost always stay where like the JMR guys are staying or Twisted Team. And so in the hotel lobby, we'll have, breakfast and just bullshit about the night before. And then the Uno cards come out or the Monopoly cards come out. Right. And yeah, then that'll take until like 1 o'clock.
And then it's time to start getting into race mode.
It might go back up to the room, take a nap, shower, and then depart and try to be at the arena by 3 o'clock. And then pro riders meeting is at 4:30. And then we hit the track just to see here after 5.
You know, that's so funny. You were talking about a quilting convention in the way. So we actually went to a train, like a modeled train, toy train thing, and we took the kids. And it was right before this last snowstorm we got. It was supposed to be Saturday, Sunday. Snowstorm comes in on Sunday. Well, we'll go up. It's cold. There's nothing else to do. We need the boys. We'll take the boys and entertain them and do something. So the Tom found this, by the way. This is
naturally.
Yeah, right. As the Tom would, as he would. We go there and the place is packed. We have to park in the street. There's no parking spots at the KCI Expo Center or wherever the heck we're at. And we go in there and like it's shoulder to shoulder looking at trains.
Yeah,
toy trains, things, and I was just pretty amazed by it. But it was something fun. The kids liked it and whatnot. But I couldn't believe how busy it was.
Surely you've been to the Christmas toy train at
Union Station.
Union Station,
yep. Yeah. Oh yeah. There, I felt like we did that a couple years in a row, but we didn't go last year.
So this is a motocross podcast. Let's talk motocross, Supercross over the weekend. Eli Tomac wins. Julian Beaumer wins. Which is a bigger surprise?
That's a great question. I want to say Julian, just based on, but the thing is there's no reason for him to be the bigger surprise, but he is. He's still a sophomore. Deegan should be winning. He should be winning by 20 seconds. You know what I mean? Like, it shouldn't even be a question. But Julian's running as fast or faster in practice. Mm-hmm. And then he's able to win heat, or he got second in the heat or something like that. Or did he win the heat? I don't even know what he got in the heat. But anyways.
I think he won his heat.
I did a full review YouTube, and I still can't remember what I said, so it's fine.
Hey, I didn't realize that Deegan was not supposed to race the West Coast until right before they made the decision.
Oh, I thought he was West the whole time. I didn't realize that.
I'm quite certain, unless I misunderstood the podcast I was just listening to on the way over here, that it was like a January decision for him to race West Coast.
Well, you want the most impressive one out of the whole deal, okay, we'll just talk 250 class since we're there right now, is Cole Davies, dude. That kid's so good.
Yep.
He's so good. His technique is so good. He's got a little bit, he's a 17-year-old kid against some Jordan Smith 30-year-olds. You know what I mean? Like, there's some old man in there that it's a different world. There's two different things of that, right? Mm-hmm. Like, we're the old men, but we're like the old men that get tired and like have shit to do during the day.
Of course.
Jordan Smith is a professional athlete, and like the 17-year-olds we race have all the energy you could ever want or need for the most part. It's just a whole different level at the Supercross level. The other guys, they're just good, right? They're just super, super good. But I'm very, very impressed with Cole Davies, his performance. He looks like he's been there. But Julian Beaumer looks like he's been there. You know, he is, I guess he kind of has been. He's a sophomore season, but he looks like he's been there. He's in his third or fourth year. And Deegan is supposed to be the guy. And he's looping out in the whoops. and he's beating himself with bad starts.
Is it pressure? Is it just 2 fluke races in a row for him where he's not on the, not on the box? Like, what's...
It's probably a little bit of both, but I think it's more fluke, and I think he's more excited. You know, the points where you're so confident that like you're going to lay it down, no problem, no big deal, like walk away from this deal. Like you have all this confidence in the world, but then that actually you're overconfident. So then you skip little pieces and little things, cause you to get a bad start. When you get a bad start, you're in traffic. You hit the sand section. You know what I mean? All this different stuff. You miss the rhythm. Look at the 450 heat race 1 where Tomac gets out front. Vince Freeze causes a traffic jam right before that triple. So nobody tripled it. A bunch of those guys didn't triple. And Tomac's like 20 bike lengths. He's like a whole section ahead of guys.
Yeah, I think it was 4 seconds.
Yeah, just like that. You know what I mean? And when you're in the back of the pack, you get a bad start. That kind of stuff it just stacks and stacks and stacks.
I am extremely interested, obviously. Like, what are we about to see? Are we about to see a seven rider season in 450, or are we going to see more of just, hey, there's 3 guys, Tomac, Sexton, and Jet. Jet obviously has to get his win. We know it's coming. Yeah, like he's going to win. Coops, he's fast enough for it, Yeah. I mean, Kenny can win. I mean, Anderson, a Mutter AP.
Yeah, Mutter AP, yeah. I think we have potential to have 7, 8 winners.
Yeah.
I think we'll get like 5. Just because I think Tomac I think somebody's going to get on a roll at some point, which is going to be a bummer. Yeah. But the other part is like these guys I think the guys have stepped their level up. Jet last year was just faster than everybody. He was just better. It didn't matter where they were, what was going on. He was just the best guy by every lap. You know what I mean? A second a lap or whatever. He could raise the bar and go as fast as he wanted anytime. Like, you know what I mean? Just show up and go. Well, I think all the other guys have raised the bar this year. Tomac is by far way better than he was. He's back more of like when he won the title in 23. Then you have, I think Webb is better. I don't think he's quite KTM championship Webb, but he's definitely better than he was last year. Roxon's just doing the vet senior guy. I mean, he's just right in there. He'll pounce. We'll get to Glendale. We'll get to something like that just is all throttle control. Everything will piece together, and it'll just happen for him. Anderson, I think he's on the bubble of getting one. Barsha won 2 years ago. Like, you know what I mean? Like, there's like Anderson or AP won last year.
Yeah.
So like we can't count him out, even though he's a 7th place guy. You know what I mean? Like, it's kind of crazy. I think look at how good Hunter got last year as everything stacked on, and he's been kind of. The weird part is this time of year you got weather, you got guys traveling, you're seeing all these fans, people are sick. All these guys are getting sick right now. Flu type stuff or whatever, neurovirus, whatever you want to call it. And so that's kind of jacking them up. And everybody kind of has, I feel like the last couple of years, that's been a thing at A1, A2, San Diego, the first couple of rounds. But
okay. So on that note of getting sick, and I don't know, I haven't even talked about it on this podcast. The craziest thing to do is rewind the clock to 2020 and watch the interview whenever Cooper Webb is in the tunnel and he's getting interviewed before I think he has his helmet still on. He so clearly has COVID and is talking into the microphone and like it's rubbing up against his mouth and he's spitting on it and shit. And I don't think it was, I mean, Will Christian might have been, I don't remember if it was
whoever it was.
The interviewer standing there and like, stuffing the microphone in his face, right. And he's like, "I'm so sick. This is so hard. Like I've never been this sick before." And he sounds terrible. Right. And then she pulls, and that's it from Cooper Webb. Back to you guys in the booth, and it's just like, it's just such a like weird point in time where, wow.
Right.
You can see it unfolding now, what we know now, and all the shit that happens over the next couple months in Supercross alone.
Right.
I mean, that whole season was just wild with the residency in Dallas, then the residency in Salt Lake. And I remember Kevin Moranz was posting about going to going to Indianapolis, and he's like on the road on the way there on Thursday.
Track's built.
Yeah, track's built. He gets the call, races are canceled.
Yeah, it's crazy.
And I remember him saying it was just like this. What do I?
What do you mean?
Where do I go then? You know, but it you know, also that COVID year was so fun for us, and I don't know if we've ever really talked about this, but that race at Winterset.
Oh yeah,
the Justin Brayton shootout. Whenever we all rode the plus 30 class.
Yeah, you, me,
was it 30
Vince,
or 25?
It was both. I rode both.
Yeah, I remember you rode both. I think I just rode 30 and then 250A.
But so it must have been 30 because Vince was in it, Duff was in it.
Yep. Nick Peterson,
not Brent because Brent wasn't old enough.
No, Brent rode plus 25.
I don't even know. I don't know who. Vince Metter, I think, was up there. But anyways, everybody. It's full gate.
Yep, and some other guys from up that way. And I remember it was just like, I swear that was the most fun that I've ever had in a moto. And because we were all going fast, but not scary fast. And the racing was super tight. And I remember, Duff was on my ass, dude. And we went back and forth and we're two-stroking, back and forth. And Vince is there on his 500. And
the 500. Yeah.
And then on Sunday, I don't know if you remember this. Sunday is whenever the bike seized up on the face after that first corner. And
had a big crash, knocked himself out. Peyton had a big crash, I think.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, Peyton had a big crash over that real... the real tall, the old finish line. Yeah, he had a crash over that. But I just remember that race being such an instrumentally fun weekend of racing, and it just was like it felt like we were doing the bad thing.
Right. The cops are going to come and shut down and make everybody leave. That was like the rumor that kept going around.
Yeah, there was, and I mean, I remember Tony Wink had to go to the top of the hill and was talking to the sheriff, and the sheriff literally told him, "We don't give a fuck, dude.
We literally don't care.
Yeah, we literally do not care. Have your dirt bike race." Some concerned citizen called in and reported, this event going on. And you remember rolling back the clock also, the AMA had that like return to race protocol.
Dude, I remember that. I remember the mega camp. I had to put together a whole COVID disclaimer and all the paperwork for that for everybody. It was a whole thing.
You should probably keep that in there.
Just because. Dude, when I think of Winterset, I don't think of that race. I think of when you, Zarda, and I went and raced. Every time I think of Winterset, that's what I think of.
And that would have been
07.
Wow.
06 or 07.
And were you riding the B class at that time?
I had just moved up to B class.
Just moved up, yeah. And remember, we slept on that guy's floor
because we couldn't get a hotel room, and it was some random guy that Adam kind of sort of knew.
Okay, and maybe you can refresh my memory. I remember we stayed like in downtown Winterset.
Yes. So we come into town. Oh, we'll just get a hotel when we get there, and I'm pretty sure those were your famous words. We'll just get a hotel when we get there. It's not that big of a deal. Okay, cool. Yeah, whatever. Get into town. No hotels. No John Wayne room, nothing at all. So Adam gets on the phone, and it's like 1 a.m, midnight, whatever it was 2 o'clock in the morning. And Adam gets on the phone, gets a hold of this guy. I don't even know what his name was. I have no idea who he is. Gets a hold of this guy. Yeah, you guys can come crash on the couch, no problem. He's like, but I only have room for your truck. I don't have room for your trailer. Oh, okay. Then you called somebody, got a hold of Tony or somebody, or maybe Adam did. We took the trailer and dropped it off across the street from the track at Tony's mom's house
That's
or something.
Right.
Just random. I mean, 3 a.m, drop a trailer off full of motorcycles. And somebody, we think that's whose house it is, just in their driveway. Drop it off, leave, go back into downtown Winterset, pull down some dark alley.
I remember that
The garage door opens in the back of this, and there's like 10 different cars in this garage. They're all parked but only one person lives in this place.
And I remember that the front of the house, like it was an old, like, pharmacy that had been converted into an apartment, and that the front door like walked out to Main Street.
Yeah, like to the square, like or whatever, like downtown, kind of like downtown Clinton or whatever, if you've ever been there. Anyways, so we go in there, sleep on the couch, the floor, whatever. I
remember it was nasty.
It was not pleasant at all. We had to walk through his bedroom where him and his chick were. So he was awake, but his chick was sleeping. Through the bedroom, through the bathroom, into the like kitchen living room area. Slept on the floor for like 4 hours. Got up, got in the truck, had to go get the trailer. Then went to the track, and then I think I won all but one B-Moto. So, anyways, I remember that. And the track was muddy. It had rained. It rained on our drive up there, as it does anytime Winterset has a schedules an event at all. It's going to rain. And then you and Adam battled out in the A class or something. But Adam rode plus 25 and 450A or something. This was his like comeback year, kind of on the Honda.
Yeah, I don't remember anything about that race day at all. I remember staying in that house.
Yep.
I forgot about the dude and his chick being and us walking through their room, which was super weird. I don't remember anything about that race day. Around that time, I do remember racing Adam at River Valley in Northwest Arkansas, Van Buren. Have you ever been there?
Mm-mm,
it's now called Gas.
Oh yeah, okay. I've heard of it, but I've never been there. Yeah.
Okay. So we Adam and I. That guy that had that track, that was Todd Bloxham's dad.
Oh, okay.
So Bloxham's old man had that place, and that guy, if I remember right, he was a custom home builder. And he was one of those guys that had a very fast and loose program, and he threw cash around a lot. And he would always put up these like $5,000, $6,000, $7,000 pro purses. And I mean, I don't remember how I was tapped into them having these races, but I always knew anytime he would just throw money at an event. And myself, Adam Zorda, and Brian Stone came down from Kansas City one time, and Blake Keaton, Nathan Benoit, and a couple guys from Texas came up. And that track was not a raceable track at all because it was straight line, 180, straight, and just, tabletop, triple,
right.
Tabletop, 180. And I mean, very rarely could you pass somebody. And this is right around the time that scrubbing was a thing. And I managed to beat Adam at those races just because I could, very loosely, in quotes, scrub the motorcycle. Blake Keaton, he just was fast as fuck, and he was really hard to beat. I did get him in a couple motos, but we all swapped moto wins.
Really?
Like everybody that went won a moto, and it was a Saturday, Sunday race, 2-day race, split, purse was split in half, 250, 450, 2 days. And yeah, I mean, we do 4 gate drops every day, and it literally was just, popcorn as to who was going to win the race.
Whoever got the whole shot, basically. Sort of ish.
Yeah, I mean that helped a lot, and Adam was a really good starter.
Right, kind of like how Supercross is now. Start cross.
It's important.
I think it's the most important thing right now. Like it, we did, and now we're just look at us bouncing all over. That's what we do here.
That's what we do at ODB.
That's what we do here. I think it is start cross. You hear the jokes about it, and all that different stuff, but I think that's pretty accurate.
I mean, arena cross is pretty much the same, especially if fucking Henry Miller shows up.
Just get the whole shot. See you guys later.
Dude, and even if he doesn't get the whole shot, I mean, he has fallen down or had an issue on the first lap and still come from behind to win. He's undefeated all season.
Is he really?
Yes. Dude, not only is he undefeated, only the first night in Enid did Marquier beat him in the head-to-head race. Every single other head-to-head, every single other main event he's won. Now, he hasn't won every heat race. There was a heat race that he did not win because he went down, and it's a shorter race. But, dude, it's unbelievable. And like this last race in Lincoln, I jumped in behind him in time qualifying. And, like, I kept his pace until we were getting into the corner before the whoops, and the guy just fucking drops the hammer going into the corner. It was a triple into the corner, and he, like, gets set down, and I'm thinking I'm going to do the same thing. And he's on a 450, on a 450.
Oh, I didn't know he's riding a 450.
In third gear, just drops the clutch, like, right across the top of the whoops.
How's he stop at the end?
Uh...
Very carefully.
Yeah. He's talented.
Yeah. Oh, he's very good. He's a good dirt bike rider.
He's actually good at riding his dirt bike. Yeah.
Oh, wonder what that's like.
Dude, I don't know. I knew at one time, but I don't know anymore.
I'm still not sure if I ever knew.
But yeah, Henry's just an absolute beast, and I'm really looking forward to see what he does in 250 East. Because, like, if we go back, the other thing too is like last year, Henry couldn't beat Hicks in arena cross.
Right.
2 years ago, couldn't beat him in arena cross. I think that we've got a new Henry Miller that has found something. I don't know what, but he's found something and leveled up significantly because he fucking dominated Enid. All 4 main events. Hicks couldn't touch him. Henry had to catch him past Hicks and did more than
That's
once.
wild.
I know. I think that Henry has not turned a page, but he's got something.
He did some extra homework.
He's got some secret sauce. Yeah.
The juice. He's got some juice.
The juice.
Yeah.
Yes. On the Hicks note and AMA Arena Cross. They're coming back. Guthrie is this weekend. We're going to Memphis. They're going to Guthrie. It's one night only, Saturday only. This is the only single round. And I hate to see it because Guthrie is such a cool track.
It's the sickest arena cross you can go do.
Sure would love for them to get to do 2 nights, but I think it actually kind of adds a little bit of value. It's like, hey, this is like Supercross. We're here for one night only.
Right.
Saturday night.
And that track's as close as you're going to get to a Supercross. I mean,
Reno's close, but Guthrie's closer for sure.
But so it's only one night because they're running the amateur national championship.
Yes.
So
and I do know a couple people that are going to Guthrie just because it's just an AMA. That. Yeah, because it's the AMA national championship. I'd love Henry to go to that race.
Be nice, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Do you think you'll lose some guys to that, though? I mean,
no.
You think your crew will follow all the way to GT, even though Guthrie's right down the street?
Yes, even the 405 mods guys, they're 30 minutes away and they're going to Memphis. They're part of the championship. I mean, Chase is climbing back up in points, even though he missed Claremore. Wyatt's, Reimer, he's in the top 10 in point. He's somewhere around there. He's right. Man, Wyatt and I both have had such just squirrely, stupid luck. And a couple times our luck has run us
together.
Both of us, the both of us belong in every main event, but it's
arena cross.
Arena cross happens and it doesn't, he needs to clean up his starts. Half of the time, same with me. Half of the time, he's top 3 going to the first corner. Half of the time, he's fucking 10th, 11th, 12th going to the first corner.
Man, it never failed when I was in arena. Like, when I was really doing arena cross heavy, it felt like every issue I had was somebody else's fault. Now, I'm not trying to point the finger like, it's not my fault that this didn't happen. Yeah. Literally, would just get drilled by guys. Out of nowhere.
Dude, I had a guy at this last race, Caden Meyer. We were in position to qualify out of the LCQ in second and third. And I think Norrid or McLeod was behind me, and it was safe,
Right.
We're moving
just
forward.
Do what you're doing. Yeah, right.
Caden stuffed his bars coming into a corner, went front wheel popped out of the rut, and then his bike did a horizontal 180, and like his axle or his swing arm spun around and chop blocked the front of my bike, and I went over the bars.
Awesome.
I couldn't believe it, dude. I'm like, how the fuck did that happen?
Yeah.
Like, everything was fine. We were another 2 minutes away from making it into the main event.
Yeah. Like, one of the last, there's 2 different ones that I can think of. One of them, I was on Cowie, so this was like 11, 12, 13, some one of those. I whole shot the heat race, make it through, get through the whoops, everything, get into the rhythm, jumping into the turn at the rhythm. My bike just stops in the air because somebody jumped right into the behind me. Just plowed into the back of me, like midair, crash, boom, into the berm, break my collarbone, I'm done. Another one at Claremore. No, what was the other one in Oklahoma we used to go to? It had to have been Claremore. Whole shot left, whoops left.
Well, hold on, wait a second. Was this AMA?
No, this would have. So that one was AMA. This one would have been GT or whatever, Hoosier. Whatever.
Hold on, wait a second. What year did you say this was?
This one, let's say I was on Suzuki's on the one I'm getting ready to talk about. So that would have been like 15.
Okay, then yeah, it would have been GT.
Yeah. that's probably Claremont. Anyways, whatever arena it was, whole shot through the whoops, burp, 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 180 left. I literally start to make my left-hand turn, and I'm getting drilled from behind by like 4 different dudes, and I'm at the bottom of a pileup. I pulled the whole shot. Hold
on. I'm gonna take that audio and cut that out. I'm getting drilled from behind by 4 other guys. Continue.
Anyways, yeah, clip that. Yeah, make sure we make a note. 30-22. Got it. Awesome. That's gonna follow me forever. Poor choice of words. Good thing I'm not a politician.
Yeah. Speaking of that, good day. We're so back.
We're so back.
So you're in Oklahoma. You're getting drilled from the behind by 4 different men, and
bottom of the pileup, and like that's just it. I mean, broke all kinds of stuff on my bike and everything, and like literally, we're 6 seconds into the heat race because the start was a hard left, kind of a roller, whoops, left 180, which would have then put you into the rhythm.
Yep.
And I couldn't like halfway through the turn and just pile drive at the bottom. I'm brand new set of gear, ripped the pants to pieces. I mean, the whole thing, like. What? You know what I mean? And it was like, that was kind of like, I think I'm done racing arena cross. Like, I literally put myself in the safest position and then just got murdered in the first turn.
Do you remember who sawed your wheel off?
I know, because it was all, I don't remember.
It just happened so fast.
It happened so fast. I don't know. I have no idea.
If I'm guessing, it probably would have been Tanner Young.
That happened. Him and I had Guthrie. We had that run in at Guthrie one year doing that.
I do remember there was the one year that Jay had a race in Lawrence at the county building there.
It was like barely tall enough to have a jump.
Wide enough.
Yeah.
Long enough, not tall enough.
Right. There's one in Columbia I raced one year like that.
I did one of those also. Yeah. I'll circle back to the Columbia race. So this race in Lawrence, I made it in. I don't know what happened. Something happened. I didn't race one of the main events. And Evan Pierce, do you remember that kid?
Did you ride Yamahas?
No, he was a Suzuki guy from Oklahoma. Going into the first corner, it was the long straight around the outside, then the big 180 whoops. Left, so on and so forth. Anyway, that big left-hander, somehow or another, somebody was coming around the outside, and Evan got booted before the finish line jump, and him and a tough block went up and over the backside of that berm, but he didn't crash. He just sat there and waited for the guy that put him over the berm. And then ghost rode his bike into the guy as the guy's coming around the corner. Had no idea
it's coming.
No idea. And I'm like up in the bleachers, just like
because you saw it coming.
I saw the whole thing. Yeah, saw it totally unfold in front of my eyes. And then that was the biggest arena cross brawl that I've ever seen.
Really,
that incident, because the thing was, it collected up a handful of guys. And
with the bikes laid out everywhere in the blind
as a matter of fact, I think it was actually one of the goalie brothers. Because then the thing is, it's like then both goalies pull, one guy gets flipped, one guy comes up from behind, and then the Hussey's there. And
Team Edwardsville, Missouri, or wherever they lived at.
Double Vision Racing.
Where's the name of the town
they're from? I can't remember.
Jonesburg.
Anyway, there we go. Jonesburg,
Jonestown,
Jonesboro.
Whatever. Jonesboro.
So they pull off of the track, and it carried off of the track, and Jay's over there with his fucking clown shoes on. I think he was still in Nitro. I think he was still in Nitro Ned gear, and he's over there trying to break it up. So I mentioned, I said I wanted to. Columbia.
Columbia.
Okay, so in Columbia, I didn't have a motorcycle at that time, but I rode Keith's Honda 250. And Jay was doing the jump off contest. And I did hold on, wait a second. Yeah. This was on the Honda. I'm kind of getting stuff confused here, but anyway.
On what years and whatnot?
Yeah, because I'm also getting a Springfield race kind of mixed up with another. Anyway, so I was there with Keith. I just bought that white Ford van, the short wheelbase one that just was a liability. And
a poor investment, yeah.
And it had really, really bald tires on it, but whatever, it's fucking highway miles, doesn't matter. So we drive out there to the race, and his chick Jessica was living out there at the time.
Yeah.
Going to the all-girls.
Stevens.
Thank you. Going to the Stevens, the all-girls college. So we stayed in the dorms.
Right.
Which, it wasn't dorms. It was like this big apartment where it was like a dorm.
Like student housing, something.
Yeah. So we stayed there, and on Saturday night after the races were over, like it had started snowing around 5 o'clock. And this was like a 20-year storm that was coming in. So Keith and I were like, dude, whatever, slam the bike in. I don't even take my gear off. I go into the office, grab my money. We, get in the van. Keith's sitting there with it running, waiting for me. Because we're trying to
probably doing a burnout.
Probably. Well, we're trying to get back to Cornick's or Jessica's place because the snow is just falling. We got bald tires. We got one big uphill to go up. So I jump behind the wheel, dude, which didn't make it any better. I should have let the northernman drive the van.
Yeah, he is an experienced veteran.
So we get back to the hostel, whatever it is. So we get back to the student housing, go inside. I still have my gear on. I don't even take my backpack, nothing. I just said, fuck it, let's get in the house. So we go inside. I get, I get geared down. I take a shower. Another chick, her boyfriend, whose name was Davis, he was a pro wakeboarder from Texas. He was staying there, but he was sitting on the couch, and I walk in my gear, and this guy's looking at me like, bro, are you lost?
Well, actually,
I am. So anyway, I was like, hey, man, I'm sleeping on the couch, so you go to your chick's room. We had a little bit of a party. It was fun. I partied in my gear. All right. Then I gear down. Night's over. I wake up the next morning. Okay. All my backpack, everything's out in the van, which is just sitting outside in the parking lot.
Right.
And I'm like, I'm not putting this stink, nasty MSR gear back on to go outside. I was just like, fuck it. I'm going out there in my underwear. I don't care.
Right.
And I walk out there, and God damn it, Scott, there were 20 girls outside doing snow angels and taking photos and shit. And I have never been whistled at and catcalled so much in my life. Because, they're thinking I'm doing the walk of shame.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I'm walking out, and I just like, my head is hung so low, dude. And I'm just like, oh my God, this is so embarrassing. And I wanted to be like, if only you knew the real situation. I'm a pro dirt bike rider, and I just but so then I go out, I grab my backpack, I come back inside. It's still snowing at this point. And the thing is, I-70 shut down. We can't get back. My van won't go, period.
Right.
So Cornick had, and this is totally like new to me. I didn't know, and at Stevens, maybe it's this way at other places, like you buy a lunch card or a food card.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Did you have that?
No, my sister did. I never had it, but my sister. So we would go eat on her swipes or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah. So, and did it have eligibility at other restaurants that weren't?
Yeah, certain places, like a few select places. Yeah, so like Domino's and the
Papa
Chinese
John's was
Papa
one
John's.
of them
okay.
in Columbia. So we went. We called in, and they were open, and you could pick up, but they weren't doing deliveries. Now it was about a mile walk to get down there. And this was right at the end of the Christmas, right at the end before Christmas.
Right.
So she's got all this money on the swipes card.
Right. Meals she didn't eat yet and stuff. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. And she's like, well, I'm literally going home, and it resets next semester. So just order as much pizza as you want.
Of course.
So Keith, myself, and Davis walked down to the pizza place. We called in, dude, no joke, probably $700 worth of pizza.
Oh, shit.
We're just like, fuck it. We got, and she was like, we got like $1,000 on the swipes card. Just order whatever.
Burn it up.
So the three of us walk there in the snow. It's 1.5 feet deep. Get the pizza, and I mean, we're carrying it like we're carrying a dishwasher. All three of us, like, dude, it's like that Wilson in Home Improvement, the
Right,
neighbor, where all you can see is his eyes on the top of his hat. That's how much pizza all three of us have. Dude, I can only imagine how ridiculous we looked. And, you know, people were driving, walking, waving, honking. And the three of us come back inside, and we didn't tell Jessica how much pizza we ordered. And then that turned into, hey, we're just having a pizza party. Everybody in the whole dorm complex is invited. We have more pizza than we know what to do with. And the Chiefs were playing that Sunday. It was an extremely fun time that Keith and I have relived many times over. And there are some stories from that weekend that are not going to go on air. Yeah. But that was my Columbia, Missouri Arena Cross experience. I've no idea what this Davis guy's up to. And what's funny is, like, this experience for Keith and I has this dude that's in, you know, a part of the story. Isn't it funny how, like, these people will come in and just be like this little character in a story that you remember for the rest of your life, and it's like you have no idea who they are. All I know is it was Davis, a pro wakeboarder from Texas.
And that's it. Yeah. Good. I hope you're doing well, Davis.
Yeah. And now, but what's funny is, like, now today, and that was whenever Facebook was just like a thing.
Right.
Just starting. And now today it's like, oh, dude, what's your Snap? What's your IG? Are you on LinkedIn? You know, what's your, you know?
Yeah, TikTok.
Yeah, tickers.
Tickers.
Dude, that's such a funny word. Have you seen that where everybody's calling TikTokers tickers?
No, but that's pretty good. I'm not really a TikToker. I'm not a ticker, really. It's there, and I'll put some things there, but I don't spend any time.
Well, Trump's doing the 75-day easement on the ban. Did you see that?
I knew it was back, but I didn't know what the details were.
Right, yeah, he did write an executive order. It's going to be green for 75 days, and then potentially
whoever's got to buy it and all the fine print.
I don't know what's going to happen there.
Yeah, I'm still Instagram is probably my main. I'm old. That's my main go-to.
Heard that.
Yeah. I don't know. TikTok, like, if I get started in TikTok, though, like, it's like 3 hours later, oh my God, what happened? Where am I?
I do that with Reels from time to time.
Right.
But I'm pretty good about not going super ham anymore, just getting locked in. Unless I'm just setting out and I'm like, I have time, I'm going to lock in and just, brain rot myself.
Right.
Sure.
Dedicate time to brain rot.
Dedicate time to brain rot. Yeah, it's sometimes you have to. All things in moderation, including moderation itself, Scott.
My thing with it, the biggest thing, like, I'm on it a lot, but it's because I'm always doing something on it, whether I'm editing a post, getting posts ready, doing stories, tagged in this, sharing that. You know what I mean? Like, that's the bad part about it. It's like a necessary evil.
I wish it wasn't a thing.
It'd be a lot easier, wouldn't it?
I wish that social media did not exist.
But then how would people know about Over the Bars?
I get that, right? I mean, and right. I was actually thinking earlier today, what a great time to be alive.
What about the fact that we were here pre-social, so we know what that's like?
Right.
Then we're here through the whole development. Facebook was only for college kids. We weren't in college yet. MySpace, your best friend was Tom. Your top 8, Zanga, which
right.
All of this stuff. Vine. I never really got into Vine, though, did you?
No,
I just remember your sidekick.
That I have tattooed on my leg.
Yep, that's the one. Then just this, no social media to the development of what it all has turned into to now the world operates on social media.
It's everything. That's it. I mean, like, you have to be on it. You have to be active. You have to be engaging in order to, for somebody like me, right, where it's like, if I'm not on social media, I don't have a race team. If I'm not on social media.
Your brand development, that kind of thing. We should probably talk about that for a little bit for, like, these athletes, younger athletes or whatever, where mom and dad are maybe kind of running their social, but they're not really running it. You know what I mean? Or even kids that are they only do one social and they don't do them all or whatever. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Like, there's a lot of that. There's a lot of people that just do Snapchat or just do TikTok and don't do the other stuff, which the other stuff, every piece of it has a different reason for who and what demographic you're reaching and what you're doing. And, like, as an athlete or as a, Jeff Crutcher is a brand he's an athlete, but he's also a brand. So he goes to his sponsors. He needs, it's a race team, Creo, P1, whatever. I mean, pick any person we want to pick that's an athlete that's racing. They need to be active and updating and showing that if you want anything from your sponsors. I remember talking to Kevin. Okay, Kevin, this was kind of pre-KMR. This is kind of Kevin still learning the pro route, and him and I did a school together. He stayed at the house and stuff, and we were talking. And at one point, he was talking to somebody about getting on a team. And the very first question, whoever the team owner, team manager asked was like, well, how many Instagram followers do you have? How many Facebook, you know what I mean? Whatever. How many subscribers do you have? Just pick the name. And that was the only thing that he cared about, if you were going to make on the team or not. Performance, we'll figure that part out. But how much social media can you bring to the team?
It's important. I mean, and the thing is, you don't have to be a good dirt bike racer to have a successful dirt bike career if you're good at social media. And I get it, dude. And not everybody is meant to be a personality on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, whatever. Like, not everybody is built to be a content creator. However, if you are going to be a dirt bike racer, you either have to be Chase Sexton, okay,
super good,
or you have to be Carson Brown.
Yeah, I mean, look at Buttery.
Dude's never raced.
Yeah.
Did you know that?
No, I didn't know that.
He's never raced.
He's pretty good for never racing.
I mean, the guy can get around a track.
He can ride good. Yeah. He's not super good, but he can ride good. But guess what? He's really good at social media.
He's really good at social media. Yeah, him and Medium too. Medium's raced quite a bit.
Yeah.
But he's not a racer. Looks the part, acts the part, rides all the time, but they have a really good time. They just fuck off.
Those are the new Carey Harts, Adam Joneses.
Yeah.
The freestyle Deegan, Brian Deegan, Mike Metzger. That's the new version of that.
Man, that's such a good, I've never thought about that, about how those guys are the new freestyle
of 2000, 2001, 99, 90, the Crusties guys, any of those, that era of, let's say, 97 to 03.
Sure.
Of the heydays of X Games and Gravity Games and whatever games, you had all this different stuff. And these social influencers in the moto world are the new versions of that.
And instead of getting an X Games gold medal, now you get a YouTube subscriber count plaque.
Right. Yeah, you're exactly right. Yeah. I mean, look at the Hill brothers.
Yeah.
But those guys racing are super freaking good.
Super talented. Super talented. It's very important. I mean, I got a second lease on my career because I dedicated to being good at social media. I just said, I'm not taking no for an answer.
Right.
And originally the goal was just get to 10,000. I just want to get 10,000.
I would love to get to 10,000.
Get to 10,000 on Instagram and, take it from there. And dude, what's crazy is whenever I did get to 10,000, and by the way, this was a couple years ago. I think this was 2020, 21. Yeah, 2020 is whenever I really dove into.
Whenever you left FedEx, whenever that was.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, that was that year. It was the COVID year. So I started, really went in on, and see, what's funny is the first year of Arena Cross, I don't have hardly any. I've got no footage. I think I ran the GoPro 2 races on the top of my helmet.
Too busy doing stuff.
No, I just
wasn't good at. Got right. It wasn't.
I hadn't made that
point.
decision yet.
Right.
Yeah. And I had an okay following, but I wasn't, really popping. And that year I raced a couple times with Keaton McCaleb, and Keaton and I talked about the importance of social media. And he's always been Keaton McCaleb, AKA 498 Savage. Keaton is one step ahead of one step ahead. And so I always look at Keaton and I'm you're actually too far ahead. So often where it's if you, because he pushes a lot of boundaries over moto content, right?
Right.
And it's crazy because what he does, there's times whenever it almost seems like this isn't interesting. Now, let me finish by saying this.
Right.
It's not that it's not interesting. it's interesting to a completely different audience than you and I. And he does not create content for you and I.
Correct.
That's not his. That is not his thing. And I love that about him. I learned so much from that ideology of create content for just the average person that doesn't ride dirt bikes. At the time that I started doing content creation and GoPro footage, it was all about creating content for the kid that lives next to the kid that races.
Yeah, that's a good way to look at it.
You know, is like his buddy has some KX85s in the garage. That's who I'm creating content for, is the kid that knows what motocross is, that knows what dirt bikes are, doesn't ride himself, or is just like a very like local weekend warrior, very like novice,
right?
Not super committed into moto. Keaton, he's totally disconnected from motocross entirely.
He's just the guy that makes videos and he rides a dirt bike.
That's correct. Yes. So his content strategy is like ahead of ahead. And there are times, but the thing is like, if you look at his bike, it's completely blacked out. He's wearing A-Stars gear head to toe. He's the only not pro motocross racer that is on team with A-Stars.
No kidding.
Yes.
I didn't know that. I knew he had a deal, but I didn't know what the deal was.
Yeah. So, I mean, if you look around, it's Jet, it's Cooper, it's, Sexton.
Hunter. Anderson. Actually, I was thinking about that today. You know, I'm totally derailing your topic here. No. That's what we do. But you know how Fox had everybody.
Everybody.
If you were wearing Fox, you were good, you were fast, you were the guy.
Yeah.
Now Fox has Kenny and Christian.
And Christian's 50-50.
And he's not even racing right now. Yeah.
Yeah.
Alpine Stars has everyone.
Yes. And Alpine Stars, and I know this because of my relationship with Taz, who is their field sales manager. So that means all the the retail sales manager for the company here in the United States. Taz, I mean, dude, Gabriel, the guy that owns A-Stars. Taz reports to him.
Right.
Okay. And this guy, they're like, we don't care. Just make it better. Just do better. We want better product. You got to spend money. I don't give a fuck. Spend it, whatever it costs. Make it the best. Give it, we want the very top. We want the elite. We are the best. We'll have the best. We'll sell the best. And people will buy it at retail. And that's that. And look at where A-Stars is now.
It's just wild. It's on everybody. Yeah. It's on everybody. So I got a little story for that. So do you remember, this would have been like I'm going to say Supercross 2018.
Okay.
So when Tomac's pants broke and he had to like pull over.
Yeah.
And this was like the first year Tomac was in Alpine Stars or whatever, his Yamaha deal he switched. Yeah. Well, he would have been in on a Cowie, so no. Anyways, first season on Yamahas. I did Lakewood that year. And after that race, we went and had dinner with Benny and the two Alpine Star guys. I can't think of their names right now.
Sure.
At the time. They're not there doing it anymore, but at the time, it was Benny, the two Alpine Star guys, and then whoever else I was with. We all went to dinner. We all went to dinner the night before or the night after.
Pull this a little closer to you.
Oh, sorry. Anyways, we're just talking, and he had this conversation. He goes, yeah, man, those pants broke that night, and my phone was ringing as soon as the race was over from, what was the guy's name? Gabriel.
Yeah.
He said, I want those pants on my desk tomorrow morning. This is Saturday night at 10 p.m., you know what I mean, or whatever. So he had to get the pants and ship them, and he wanted them on his desk to find out what broke and why it happened, and so on and so forth. And that's just when I had learned that he's very hands-on, wants it to be the best. There's no reason not to. And he pays all those guys a lot of money.
A-Stars, what is it? One goal, one vision.
Yeah.
I mean, that is it, and nothing else, nothing but the best. It's very admirable how committed they are to producing exclusively the finest stuff, and like open the door to all the other motorsports that they supply for. You know, motocross is one of the few sports where we've got a whole different list of riders that they're paying. But like you flip the script into like Formula One and NASCAR.
Right.
Those guys pay.
They buy their suits.
They buy their suits. Yes, that's correct. Yeah. I mean, there are A-Stars athletes. So like Lewis Hamilton, right? He's an A-Stars guy.
Right.
His team still has to buy his gear.
I believe that. Yeah,
that's amazing.
And by the way, neither of us are endorsed or sponsored by Alpine Stars.
Nope.
I have 2 pairs that I purchased myself.
Yeah, I've got some A-Stars boots right now. I'm on my second set of Tech 10s in 3 years.
I'm on my second set in 3 years. That's probably about right, actually.
I love them.
I like them. I don't have a complaint.
Yep, I love them. I do know that they've got some new products coming out. A new boot.
Oh, a Tech 11?
Maybe I shouldn't have said that.
Oh.
No, but it's
okay. Nobody listens to this. Right. It's fine.
So, yeah, I mean, I'm trying to remember what I was talking about before we started talking about A-Stars.
Derailed it with the Alpine Stars.
Thank you.
You're talking about Keaton, social media. He's the only guy.
Yes. So I've had this conversation with Keaton about like, what's the plan here? Like, what are you trying to do? Keaton, he wants to be sponsored by like Zen.
Oh, he wants to be Dean Wilson doing the stuff for Dan Bilzerian and shit like that.
Yeah, but he's looking at it as like, I'm not putting a logo on my motorcycle until it is like an equivalent to A-Stars. Like I wear A-Stars.
Right.
Sure, I ride a KTM. It's not about KTM. It's just the motorcycle that I ride. He has 405 do his suspension. I think there are 405 stickers on his fork tube.
But that's just the homie hookup type thing.
But he... there's no logos. He didn't even put numbers on his bike. Nothing. It's just totally blacked out. And fucking whenever the day comes that he gets a call from Sam Adams,
right, Anheuser-Busch,
whatever it is, then he will, then okay, let's do a full wrap on the bike. But like until then, he ain't doing it.
Why not? Yeah,
I like that because it creates exclusivity. Right? Is like, no, I don't do deals.
Long game.
Here's what it costs, and until someone's willing to pay me that, we're not doing it. And he's a really interesting cat. So he's tapped in with Meta, very integrated with Meta.
Wow.
Yeah, he does a lot of research and analysis for Meta, like on the back end. This dude, I mean, he's like plugged into the algorithm.
Wow.
I wouldn't call him a developer, but more of like a consultant. And so his social media has kind of changed over the last year or so because it's less about the front end and a lot more about the back end. But he's one of my favorite follows just because I like watching him and watching his stuff and seeing. And the thing is, I mean, I brought Keaton up because Keaton was the one that said, well, everybody holds their phone vertically. Why would I put my GoPro on my helmet horizontally?
Right. Has different purposes for different things. Yeah.
And he was the one that told me to put my GoPro on the side of my helmet. So all credit to him. Yeah. So much of my success is directly related from a conversation that I had with Keaton.
Right. Yeah, that's a perfect thing. Like we were talking amateurs and like, hey guys, like put stuff on your social, put your wins out there, man. Put your whatever. Even if you don't win, just put that you were at the races. Talk about what you're doing.
Okay, now let me ask you this, Scott. You've got a business that's in motocross, and you got a kid. You got 2 kids that come to you. One kid comes to you and says, "Hey, Scott, I race 4 times a year, and it's at the the Rumble at Oak Ridge. It's at 3 other races, the Lincoln Trail race. That's the same size. Okay, so I do these 4 races. I might go to Loretta's. Okay." And I train all the time, okay, and I'm really fast, and every time I race, I win. And then you've got another kid who races 20 times a year, and he's mid-pack. Whatever, they both race in the same class. As a business owner who is considering some type of sponsorship for both of these riders, which rider's more valuable to you?
The one that's racing all the time.
Yeah.
It's out there all the time with his friends, talking to people. Hey, I do this. These are the people I'm connected to, whatever, all the time. Yeah.
Yeah. So I knew that you would say that, but I wanted to tee that up to then illustrate that being at the track and disclosing that you're at the track and like showing I am a rider, I go to the track all the time, I'm social, I'm part of the community, that is so much more important than race results. The same exact way, social media, okay, and I'll just cut the second word off, social. Whether you're social on social media or you're social at the track, both are an extremely important component to being a well-rounded dirt bike rider. The results doesn't matter. Like at the end of the day, the results don't matter. I was just looking at Jacob Sauter, which is HB Moto. He's got a kid from Texas, number 100. Last name is Walters.
Yeah.
On a gas.
Yep.
Dude, I was looking at
bikes are so sick.
I was looking at the kid bikes, and I'm just like, oh my God, that looks so good. But the kid's at the track all the time.
Right. All the time.
I think that he still goes to school. I don't know anything about him, but just by taking a cruise on his social, I can tell the kid rides and races all the time. I don't know what place he gets. I don't know if he goes to amateur nationals or if he goes to the local track or whatever. I mean, I know that he goes to the local track, but I don't know anything about the kid, and I have a really good impression of him because
his kit looks good, he rides good, and he's active. He's constantly putting out there. Yeah. There's all kinds of people that I've helped or worked with that like, if you win, you win. If you don't, you don't. Like let's continue to improve in every aspect of it. Yeah. And the biggest part about being active and making these improvements and being on social and just working that is angles you can work with your sponsors, people you're reaching out to for help, because that's your avenue to display the message to the world, right? And that's how you get more help to help you keep riding your dirt bike. Because we talk about this all the time. You know, the turnover is ridiculous. The turnover in the sport is 3 to 5 years. It's either on average. I mean, I want to say 3 to 5 years. Kids get hurt, they get out of it. They get old enough to drive, and they want to go do other stuff instead. Or they can't afford it. Those are usually the 3 biggest factors.
And then the other one.
That's kind of where the driver's license and all that came from. Yeah, you get your driver's license, you want to go do other stuff. And so, or they can't afford it. And being able to tie all this stuff together will help you be able to afford it to be able to keep going.
And sure, you may not get paid, but hey, not paying for a set of knee braces helps a lot.
Yeah, just any set of tires, a discount, whatever. It goes a long ways. I remember there was a window there where I was buying everything. Like, full retail, like ordering it from Motorsport or whatever. You know what I mean? Like, oh, this sucks.
Yeah.
And I'm not even anybody real cool, you know? I've just developed relationships,
you're cool.
You know?
You're cool.
I don't know about that.
All right, brother, we've done 1 hour, exact 1 hour and 2 minutes, and we have 11 minutes to pack up and get out of the room. So any closing thoughts?
Who do you got for this weekend with the Supercross? We didn't talk, let's talk 450. We didn't ever mention that. So just who do you got for 450 class? Can't pick one, can you? Because I can't either. People ask me that all the time, and I can never. I just want to see a cool race.
A2, gun to my head, I'm going Jet.
Just finally has it figured out, ready to go.
I'm saying that this is, he's the third guy to win. What I'd like to see is I'd like to see Kenny win. I'd like to see Tomac win. I want to see Prado
do something
further up. Yeah. I want to see him get another good start, and he did at Anaheim 1. Got a great start, and then crashed in the whoops.
Right. You know what I want to see? Benny not on the ground by the hand of somebody else. That's 2 in a row we've had that happen so
Let's
far.
avoid that.
And I'd like to see Kevin in the main again.
Again?
Yeah.
Again. We love to see that.
We love it.
Yes.
All right.
Okay, cool. Make sure to listen to the Behind the Gate episode of Anton and I. That comes out tomorrow at 12 o'clock noon. That's hosted by Frank Craven and Josh Hudson. And the episode is produced and edited by 101 The Fox's own
Steve Garrett.
Thank you.
And if you want to listen to a cooler episode than that, go back a little bit, listen to episode 2.
With Scotty. Yeah, of course, big shout out to our friends at Behind the Gate, and, so excited to see their podcast continue taking off. That's it for us. Thanks for checking us out. Hey, tell your friends that OTB is back. I think we're due for a guest. We need to get a guest.
We'll work that out. Yeah.
Okay, cool. Well, I've got four weekends in a row, GT Arena Cross, Memphis this weekend, then 2 in a row in Springfield, and then we close the season out in Topeka. And then I got a little something on the horizon. That's part of the reason I want to end this, so I can talk to you about it. So,
I don't have. I'm on baby watch till March. First weekend in March, I got vet rider training March 8th.
Yep.
And I got a school at Moberly on March 9th. So that's what I got.
Rock on. Hey, thanks everybody. And like I said, be sure to tell your friends OTB is back and share it to your story. Thank you. Bye bye.